I represent from midnight to high noon.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Sam High Noons Vinyl, your friendly neighborhood vinyl guy, back here again. Got another stack of stuff that I have spun, cleaned, entered into Discogs, whatever the case may be, stuff I haven't shown. Just kind of going through all the different cubbies of things that, haven't shared and shown, and just, getting caught up on some things. So how you doing? It's June. It's hotter than hell, at least especially here in Florida. What are you going to do? So let's get right into it. Wanted to kick this one off with this record. So this is, make sure I get her name right, Frankie Rose. So this was a VCLT gift from my Vinyl Bunch partner in crime, Jen Everett, Jen's Addiction. She sent me the lovely t-shirt you've seen me wear before for the Vinyl Bunch. And she also threw in some goodies. This was one of them. This is a complete reimagining, if you will, of The Cure's album 17 Seconds, which has one of my favorite Cure songs on there, The Forest. Frankie Rose definitely did a phenomenal job on this one, making it her own. From an album, written and recorded in the early 80s. Sounded fresh, sounded new. There's the vinyl there on wonderful clear vinyl. She didn't, I won't say deviate, but she made the songs her own. Really interesting stuff. I loved her vocal stylings and treatments that she did to this. Definitely held my attention, and just I was blown away by it. We'll be checking out more from her. If you want to check her out, she's probably on all the socials. I know she's on Instagram. I posted this on Instagram and tagged her in it. So check her out, especially if you're into that early 80s post-punk new wave, maybe a little bit of goth sound. Great stuff. So if I remember correctly, the most of this is used finds. I don't think there's anything else new in here. We will tackle it if we do, but let's get right into it. How do you say no to Mr. Albert King? I'll play the blues for you. Obviously, this is blues with some funk and soul. Never mind the cover. I got this one at a steal, and what's great, I don't know if the camera will pick it up because of the glare. I don't know, but it is a promo copy. It literally says DJ copy, not for sale. So happy to get that one. Sounded really clean, and there's only one way you play Albert King, and that is really loud, and it served the purpose. I have been really on a run with XTC finding stuff. This one was an acquisition from a while back. This one is Drums and Wires. I think this one's got the single Making Plans for Nigel on it. Maybe I made that up. I'm losing my mind. But still good stuff. But I also scored recently the Big Express from XTC. Now, this is a UK original. It is the die-cut sleeve, which is like a pocket. And it has the original inner, which is really cool. And then there's your labels. So wouldn't say this one's my favorite XTC, but still a quality release from them. Squeeze. Everybody knows Squeeze and Tempted, but I think this album is greater than the sum of its parts. I think this was them firing on all cylinders at this point. They obviously had a formula that they followed with Tempted, but you can hear that formula still carry over from some of their more post-punk stuff in this album, even though this was probably a little bit more pop successful for the era. but it's great. And that's the kind of stuff that I've been lucking into with scoring recently. So not mad. Sonny Rollins. This was a later release on Milestone. And I scored it for, I mean, it might as well have been nothing. I think it was a couple bucks if I'm being honest. Cover is okay. I'd probably give it a VG. Vinyl is somewhere between a VG and a VG plus, but it played great. There's a couple of imperfections. This one it was a live recording in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. It was put out in 74, so I think it was recorded in like 72. Oh, it was recorded in 74 in at the Montreux Jazz Festival, if I remember correctly. This one, you got just some incredible soul jazz, cutting edge to a Wild Rose first move. But at the end of it, you've got Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, which almost feels like it's going to get into an abstract feel with they bring out a bagpipe, and you're like, this could get a little weird, and but it doesn't. They kind of rail it back in. But for a couple minutes, I was on the edge, kind of going, where's this going? But I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and for a $2 score, glad to add it. This was not $2. However, I did pay less than market value. This is, I think it's a second press on Prestige of the Baggs Groove. This is obviously a comp from Miles from that era, because you have a couple of takes on here for the Baggs Grooves, for the couple tracks that are on here. There's your cover. But what a lineup! I mean, Sonny Rollins, Milt Jackson, Thelonious Monk, Horace Silver, Percy Heath, Keith Clark, and like I said, paid less than market. Had one little blemish on the vinyl, but it didn't drive me crazy. Jazz is usually something I'm kind of a stickler on. I'm letting that go a little bit on some of these earlier presses, because it's just cool to have them. But it's Miles, and it was a great price, so glad to pick it up. Stevie Ray. I'm getting closer to finishing up my Stevie Ray collection. I think I need In Step and the Vaughan Brothers is what I need left. It's sad we lost him so soon, but his legacy that he left behind is just absolutely incredible. To me, there's not a bad moment on this one. Probably some of my favorite. I mean, you got the big hit that was on here, Look at Little Sister. There's just incredible songs on this one. If you need to look, if you don't know it, I'm sorry. For me, one of my favorite moments on this one is the end of the album, Life Without You. It is just an incredible, touching, almost feels very vulnerable, which I like. This would rank high in my best of albums of all time, or favorite albums of all time. To me, NXS Kick, it gets no better. This was production on point. This was pressing on point. This was mastering on point. This was what they were. This was the sound they were striving for, and I'm glad they finally achieved it. As far as for singles, you've got New Sensation, Devil Inside, Need You Tonight, which, if you remember the video, went into Mediate, where they kind of did their own version of the Bob Dylan thing. Never Tear Us Apart, Mystify. I mean, you might as well be a greatest hits at this point. This is an original press. To me, it sounds just as good as anything else you ever find out there. And honestly, I think, and I can't say that I've heard some of the audiophile pressings, and I know there are a few of them out there, but I don't know if the cost is worth the return, considering you can get these probably $30 maybe for an original press. I know one of my other vinyl bunch cohorts, Paul, Baraka P Dub has multiple copies of that, so he would be the one to let me know if there's anything that sounds better than the original for the cost. The Pretenders. This was my oh shit or my no shit moment of the week. This one, I literally, I felt like I knew I had it. It was like, oh, I got stuff scattered everywhere, and I was flipping through some stuff and saw this one, and I was just like, well, I'm playing that one, especially considering it was already clean. I mean, Pretenders, Chrissy Hine. No argument there. So, those of us in the vinyl community, or the whatevers, and the this and the that and the what have you, we there's always these list of albums, right? Oh, these albums every collector must own, and everything. And I don't really give that list kind of much of a credence. Just because 900 people tell you you're supposed to like it doesn't mean you have to. And even if you do like it, 900 people don't have to say that you have to buy it. However, these two they might be right on, and I didn't have them. As we've talked about years ago, I started rebuilding years ago, so I've had this. I've had all kinds of presses of this, and this was always one of those ones where it's like, if you got a friend over and they're collecting, they're like, oh man, I never see Boston. Take it, man, because I'm gonna find another one. I just never did. And this one, I felt like I heard this so much, and recently it has been popping back up on the socials, and I kind of wanted to hear it again, so found a nice copy and sprung for it. An incredible comp of the English Beat, or they really should be known as The Beat. That didn't quite work out for them here in the States, and actually, no offense to The Beat in the States, good on you, but this is what I want. This is a great comp of singles and things of that nature from them. You get Mirror in the Bathroom. You get their cover of Tears of a Clown. If you haven't heard that might be one of my favorite covers of all time. If I were to make a playlist of covers, that has to be on it because it's just incredible. Save it for later. Show you the whole list there. This was on IRS Records. I felt like they were in cahoots with, in competition, I say, with Sire, considering how much they were really trying to sign those left of center bands in the 70s and 80s. And I thought this was absolutely cool. It had the original poly or plastic inner with the IRS logo and merch comp information and stuff like that. So I thought that was a kind of a cool thing, so I had to preserve that. Hey, what do you know? In this stack, I found another XTC Murmur. Is this got saving plans for Nigel? Because I thought I had picked it up on it recently. No, it does not. Maybe I am drunk. I would love to be drunk, but I'm not having anything today. So you're just stuck with me rambling. Another XTC Murmur. I'm getting close. I think I need the first two, the last two before the hiatus, and the new two. So, 6 is close, right? I guess whatever you're counting. Back to jazz for a hot minute. This was another early press I'd picked up. This was City Lights by Lee Morgan. So this one's on the Black and Blue Note label. It wasn't an original, but I paid something stupid low for this. It does got a little bit of surface noise and snap crackle. Honestly, it's right at probably my limit of the snap and crackle that this one has, but I'm okay with it. Turning Japanese, I bought it for that. I had the 45. I wanted the album. It's not a bad album. It's the sickness. Accept it. It's fun. The Vapors. Some more jazz. This was a fun one that I had never seen before. Lou Donaldson. This is on the Muse Records label. I hadn't even seen this before. and picked it up and was absolutely blown away by it. Really good stuff. Lou Donaldson, what can you say? Yeah, I mean, I was looking to see if when this one might have been recorded. I thought it was recorded in 1982 in Paris, so this would have been a little bit later in the career, but still good, still great stuff. The Blue Note reissue series, these are, I honestly think that they are 2 full-length albums that get repressed, if I remember correctly, if I understand. Nope, sides 1 and 2 are released for the first time. Sides 3 and 4 were previously released as the Blue Note album Hubcap. So you get some unavailable stuff, and then you get a reissue of an album Hubcap. Freddie Hubbard, Here to Stay. On side 1 and 2, you got Freddie, obviously, Wayne Shorter, Cedar Walton, Reggie Workman, Philly Joe Jones. And then on side 3 and 4, the lineup for the Hubcap album, Freddie Hubbard, Jimmy Heath, Julian Priester, Cedar Walton, Larry Ridley, and Philly Joe Jones. Both Rudy Van Gelder was at the boards. The unavailable or the first release for the first time album was recorded in late '62, and Hubcap was mid '61. Sounded great. Picked it up for, God, if I remember correctly, a tenner. Do we need to talk about Idris Muhammad? Do we? I mean, jazz, check. Soul jazz, funk jazz, check. Hip hop influence all over the place. Check. So, yes. Do I need more Idris Muhammad? Yep, I do. Am I happy that I got this one? Yes, I am. And then the last one I'll show is a fun little album called Up. So, if I remember correctly, these guys are the UK. I actually don't remember. However, this has got the Jeff Beck imprint all over it. Jeff Beck, did he play on one of the songs too? I don't remember. I do know he co-authored at least one song, if not more, and he produced this one. This is a trio that is really rock with a little bit of funk. If you're not familiar with Up, I suggest you check them out. Can get them. They're not terribly expensive, but good stuff. So that's what I've spun in the last couple of weeks, and from recent hauls or stuff that's been sitting around a minute, and glad to share it with all of you. Hopefully everybody is staying somewhat cool in this hot weather. For me, the season is going to pick up because we're in the middle of what we now call storm season here in Florida, where we sit on pins and needles and we stock up on water and batteries and provisions and then snacks. And then if there's rumors of a storm, we buy a really obscene amount of snacks and end up eating them all before a storm actually even hits. So that being said, I'm still out there shopping and picking some things up a little bit slower. I also try to watch what I order right now this time of year. It's very hot. I don't think anything sits for long periods of time in hot trucks, but you always worry about, this time of year opening up stuff and it being warm. So maybe slowing up a little bit on the ordering, at least for a bit. So we'll see. But otherwise, I still got plenty of stuff to show, so I ain't going anywhere. If you want to follow me over on Instagram, my page is in the description. Only because you get to see, some of the stuff that I'm listening to and what have you. I have 2 little things I'm working on for video projects that I think should be fun. I've been talking a while about doing some rankings, and I have a couple in mind. Once I get to a point where I feel like I have all I want of a discography, I want to do a ranking of at least, obviously some of my favorite bands. So I got 2 of those I want to do. And, sometimes when you're sitting there and you're alone with your thoughts and a random idea comes up and you flesh it out, you're like, this could be fun. So that one is coming as well. And on top of all of that, we're hoping to do a vinyl bunch on comps later in June. And what I was listening to was, in fact, a comp. I've actually been playing a couple comps today, but I pulled this one out of the comp section. Soul Slabs. This is volume 2, 3 LPs of incredible soul funk goodness from Coal Mine Records. If you aren't familiar with them, shame on you. And if you are familiar with them, shame on you for not buying more. I got nothing. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because I'm rambling. Love you all. Thanks for watching, even though you had to stare at this face for what felt like an eternity because, this face. Anyway, take care. Love you all. Peace.